Okay, we've got another boost session. So, ready? Standing in a narrow V position. So, heels together. I want you to think about the inside of your ankle bones pulling apart. We're just going to breathe in through the nose and breathe out through the mouth. And breathing in and breathing out. And we're just going to breathe in, lift the toes up, and breathe out to push all of the toes back down to the mat. One more of those, breathing in, lift toes, and breathing out, pressing the toes down into the mat. Take your arms into a G position, and then from there, we're going to lift the toes, and then press the toes back down. And as you press the toes down, I want you to think about lifting through the heels. And then we lower back down again. We're going to lift the toes. And then press down through the balls of the big toe and the little toe equally, lifting up, thinking of still pulling the inside ankle bones apart, and lower back down again. We lift the toes, we press the toes down, and we lift directly to that spot in the middle of the head up to the spot on the ceiling. Lower back down again. One more. Lift the toes and then press down through the balls of the feet, lifting up through the heels. Keep those heels squeezed together and lower the heels back down again. Then from there, we're coming into our plie. So we're thinking about the tailbone drawing down towards the heels. Keep the heels on the floor for the moment, and then we lift back up again. And again, imagine you're sliding down that wall behind you and lifting up. This time we're going to go further. So we're going to come down into our plie. And then when you can't get any further because of the restriction through the calves, you're going to allow the heels to lift. So we come down into our deeper plie. And then press the heels down and then lift all the way back up again. And again, so think about spiraling the knees over that second or third toe, and then allow the heels to lift as you carry on sliding down. Keep the tailbone drawing down toward the heels. We press the feet flat and standing tall. Last one of those. Press the heels down and press all the way back up, coming into a roll down. So you allow the head to roll down between the arms and then carry on rolling all the way down to where you can get to with the arms in this position. Then from there, can you lift through the heels? That's hard. And then press the heels down to start to roll back up again. Once your arms or elbows become parallel with the shoulders, we're going to lift up through the head. And again, that head goes through the window between the arms. We carry on rolling down. And then from there, we find the balance. We press up through the heels. That's not easy. And then press down through the heels to open up through the hips. And roll back up again. Let's breathe in. And breathe out. So roll down. Find your balance. We lift the heels. Woo. Press the heels down. Open through those hips. And roll back up again. We're going to take the arms up towards the ceiling. We're back in that roll down again. So we're going to roll down through our head. The back, middle back. The hands are going to meet the floor. I'd like you to lift the heels, pick the heels up and place the feet into parallel. Then I want you to just walk forward so that you can get your hands flat on the floor. Then from there, we're going to lift the heels and think about the waistband lifting up towards the ceiling and lower the heels back down again. Lift the heels, lift the waistband up so you're deepening down through your C curve and lower back down. And then we're going to lift the heels, and then can you keep the heels lifted as you walk the hands back towards you and then press down through your heels to start that roll. Oh, all the way back up again. We're going to do one more of those. We're going to take the hands a bit further away. So we breathe in, and as you breathe out, let's take the arms down. We're going to roll down. Hands meet the floor. As flat palms if you can. This time you're taking the hands a little bit further away. And again, lift through the heels, waistband, lift up to the ceiling and down again. And again, lift up and lower down. We lift up, then we try and keep the heels lifted, walk the hands back, and then we press the heel down and start that roll. All the way up again, lovely. Lifting up through the hands, and then one last roll down. Roll down to the floor, lift the heels, and then just bend down into a little crouch position. And we're going to take ourselves down into a long sitting position. So starting off with our fists down beside us to just help us really sit tall on our sit bones, nice and open through the chest. And then from there, we're going to, feet are in parallel, so heels are together, and then the big knuckle of the knuckles of the big toe are slightly apart, not in a V shape, though, still in parallel. And we're just going to think about the ball of the big toe and the ball of the little toe remaining equal to each other. So we're just going to really flex our ankles as though we're standing on the floor, and then we're going to press down through the ball of the big toe and the ball of the little toe equally. And again, pulling the feet back towards you, try and keep those toes quiet, I'm doing that, and then pressing away. Last one. Flex through the ankles, find as much bend through the ankles as you can, and then pressing away, and then flex, and then we're going to spiral the knees out towards the wall slightly, and do the same thing again. So really try and flex those feet back towards you. Try and bring in that little toe as much as you do the big toe. And then we point away. And then flex in that D position. And again, we point and flex. Last one. And flex, lovely. And then from there, we're going to reach up and over. Just make sure you're not collapsing down into that C-shaped curve, and make sure there's space behind you. We're going to roll down into a hundreds position. So really flex through your ankles, and we're going to roll down into that upper body. The upper body's lifted, and we can choose to keep the legs down or legs up, and we're now pulsing through the arms over the thighs. Nice long breaths. Can we now point through the ball of the big toe and the ball of the little toe equally? And again, we flex through the ankles. 2 more breaths. Let's point equally, ball of the big toe, ball of the little toe. Last breath. Well done. Lower down through the legs and reach those arms up and over. And then we're going to flex through the feet and take the feet back into that parallel position. Really squeeze the legs together. Your legs are your solid foundation here. Arms lift up and over. And we're rolling up and over. Reach those fingertips forwards. Reach the ribcage back behind you. And we're going to open up, spiral those hips up towards the ceiling. We're going to breathe in at the bottom. Breathe out. Head, neck and shoulders. Up and over. One more of those. Reaching the fingertips forwards. Sliding the back of the head back so it stays over the spine. Lovely, and then take your arms down beside you. Well done. From there, you're going to slide the right foot in towards your bottom and just lift that leg up towards the ceiling. And you can just use your other hands to pull that leg in towards you. Now the leg on the floor, I want the toes to stay looking up towards the ceiling. And imagine you're standing on the floor still with that foot Really try and press the back of the knee and the floor foot down into the mat. From there, we're going to meet through those toes again and flex. And again, point and flex. That's 1 point. And flex, and then we're going to do circles. So we're going to circle the foot, the ankle, back and round. Think about turning the sole of the foot to one wall and then to the other wall. Let's change direction of those circles. Really try and turn as much as you can through the ankle. Last one, turning. Lovely. And then we're going to finish in a pointed position. Take your arms down beside you, slightly away from you. You can bend your knees slightly if you need to. I'm going to, otherwise I get a real shake on. Coming into our one-leg circle. So press down through your arms, chin looks up towards the ceiling. We're going to lift the hip and circle across the body, down, round, and back to the middle position. And again, lift under the bottom, circle down and around and back to the start position. And again, lift, circle, up, and then let's lower that foot all the way down. Lovely. Taking your hand around the other thigh, and then we're going to lift that leg up, and we're going to point through the toes, and then flex the ankle. And again, we point and flex. Point and flex. Let's go for those circles, just circling around and back to the start. Imagine that. Now how tight that can feel in. Circling the opposite direction. And again, circling and back to the start position. Take the arms down beside you. Give your knee a little bit of a bend if you need to. Now, I'm going to have my foot in parallel for this one leg circle, rather than turn out this time. And I want you to really press down through the leg on the floor again. And again, remember that little lift under the hip, circle across the body, down and back around. And you can think about this leg on the floor, that hip just pulling up and connecting up towards your rib cage to just keep that stability in the upper body, to free up the hip. Opposite direction, out to the side, cross and back. Last one. Lovely. And let's bring those knees in towards us. Bring the nose up towards the knees, and we're just going to do a mini roll. I want you to think about the bottom, the back of the leggings, lifting up towards the ceiling. Can you keep your feet tucked in close towards your bottom as you roll? Those rolls a bit bigger, and we roll all the way up onto our bums. From there, we're going to find our balance points. Lifting through the heels, tuck your head in towards your knees, the eyes are gazing down towards the belly button. To start our roll back, we're going to pull the knees in towards us, and roll back, and think heads towards the knees. Now to come to your balance point, not further forward. Again, pull the knees, head towards the knees, and again, pull in and up. Pull. Last two. Last one. Lovely, and place the feet down. Fantastic. From there, you're going to take your right leg in towards you, and I want you to think about the left leg. The left foot is going to be slightly further away. I want you to really press that foot down into the mat. We're going to roll back here into our one leg stretch as you bring the foot in a little bit closer towards you. And the focus is going to be on this foot on the floor, really pressing into the floor. Because feel, when you press that foot into the floor, how your tailbone lifts. And that's what I want us to try and keep through this movement. So we press down through the foot to lift the bum slightly off the mat. And then we're going to reach the other leg away, pressing down through this foot. And then we pull the knee back in towards us. And we reach and pull. So you can really pull the knee in to find that upper C-shaped curve. Press through the foot on the floor to reach and pull Last one, reach and pull. Then you're going to take your hands behind the back of the head. You lift the leg up. You're going to lower the leg, keep pressing through this foot on the floor. We bend through the knees, it's our bicycle. We lift up. And again, we lower through the leg. Pull the toes in, pressing through this foot on the floor. Lift up, last one. Lower, pull in and up. Really nice. And then bend the knee and just bring your upper body down for a rest for a second. Breath. Back to that one leg circle. So now we're going to take the one leg stretch, sorry, the other knee in towards us, and we're going to focus on the other foot staying pressed down into the mat. So find the contact and the connection. So press through the foot and feel the tailbone lift off the mat. Keep pressing into the foot to maintain that. Pull the knee in towards you, pull your body up towards the knee. It's down through the foot. You reach and pull in. There's a breathe, reach and pull. And pull, thinking pressing equally down to the ball of the big toe and the ball of the little toe. And pull. Let's take the hand behind the back of the head. Lift the leg up, pressing into the foot on the floor. We lower the leg down. Try and keep that hip nice and open as you slide the foot in towards you. And lift. And again, lower the leg. Slide in. And lift. Last one. Lower down. Pull the foot in and lift. And we lower the foot down. And we lower down through the upper body. Now this one is really hard for me. I find this one, I'm really tight to the outside of my legs. So you're going to, the hips can be a bit tight, so you're going to attempt to bring the soles of your feet together. So the ball of the big toe, ball of the little toe and the heel, and then upper body is down. And then we're going to attempt to straighten our feet as much, straighten our legs up towards the ceiling as much as we can. Only go as far as you can, keeping those contacts, the ball of the big toe, the ball of the little toe, and the heel together, and then bend through the knees. I can't go very high with my knees. Really try and keep those hips open, no cheating, and we lift up. Oh, that's so not nice. And then pulling the feet down. And again, lift up. Oh, it's that little toe ball so connected. And back, and we lift, and lower, and then bring the knees in towards you. Okay, just have a quick flare, points and flex the ankles again. Points and flex. From there, take your arms down onto the mat and really think about pressing your shoulder blades down to the mat, pressing your arms into that chin up towards the ceiling, coming into our corkscrew. So I want you to think about, we're going to take the knees towards the camera. So to do that, to keep the knees level, we need to lift under the hip and then lower back down again. And the other side. So we keep the knees level as they float to one side by lifting under the hip and lower. Other side, lift and lower. Try to keep the shoulders down into the mat. And lower, let's add little circles on. So we lift under the bottom, circle down, around to the other side, lift, keep the knees level, and back into the middle. Feel my shoulders coming up. So really try and stay open through the chest. We lift up, circle down, lift from the other side, and back into the middle. Last one. One side, circle to the other side. And back into the middle. Fantastic. From there, just bring your knees in towards your head, or your head in towards your knees. And then we're going to lift up through the back of the leggings again. So we go all the way up onto the bottom. From there, you're going to sit with long legs. Legs are wide. I want you to bring them back, pressing the back of the legs down into the mat. Strongly flexing through your ankles. Take the arms out to the side. Let's just lift the arms up and really try and sit tall on those sit bones. and then take the arms up to the side again. You are going to rotate towards me, and we're going to reach up and over towards that little toe, and we're going to chop, chop, and then we lift and rotate back into the middle. And to the other side, let's breathe in. Turn the t-shirts, chop through the little toe, lift the back arm up towards the ceiling, chop, chop, lift up, and back into the middle. One more to each side. Breathe in. Reach up and over, chop, chop, lift, and back into the middle. Breathe. Lift, back into the middle, and lower the hands down. Take your hands over your right leg, the legs between, and transition yourself onto your front. Hands just below your shoulders, and I want you to think that your inside of your forearms are going to stay skinning your side of your rib cage. I'd like you to really try and bring the front of the feet. Think about trying to flatten the front of the feet down into the mat. Kneecaps stay looking down into the mat. We're going to breathe in. And as you breathe out, lift into the back of the throat to align with your nose towards the edge of the mat. Keep looking further than the edge of the mat towards the wall. And then we're going to press through the arms and lift up through the hips as well. And think about the ankles drawing back towards the feet. And as you roll down, breathing in. And breathing out. Stay light through the hands. Find that extension in your upper body. And then press up through the hips as well. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then down through the elbows to lower that shape. Down again. Lovely. Press yourself up and into child's pose stretch. And draw the legs towards the knees. And really reach your hands in the opposite direction. And then just to finish off, you're going to come up into a kneeling position. I want you to really curl your toes under. Just crouch down for a second and just really try and curl all of those toes under. Almost trying to separate those toes a bit more, spread them apart slightly. And then find your kneeling position again. Squeeze the heels together. You're going to hold your arms in front as though you're holding ropes out in front of you. And then I want you to really open up through the front of the body and do tiny mini leaning back. So from the knees, imagine there's a straight line through the knees, hips and shoulders. Okay, then from there, you're going to pull those ropes back. Almost think about puffing your chest forwards, keeping that lean back. And then lift the arms. And again, pull the arms back, puff the chest forwards. And lift. This time we're adding some head movements in. So we pull the ropes back, then I turn the head to one way, and then the other way, and then forwards and lift. The arms back up. And again, pull the ropes back. We turn, turn, middle, and lift. One more on each side. Open through that chest. Turn, turn, forwards, and lift. Last time, pull back. Head, head, middle, and lift. Well done. Uncurl through the toes. Place your hands down onto the floor. Find a little crouch position. Really spread your hands on the mat. And when you're ready, I want you to think about pressing the heels down and straight into your legs. And then slowly roll yourself up into standing. Arms and lower. One more lift. And lower. And give yourself a big well done for finishing the video.